Multiple episodes of elevator malfunctions are being reported in high-rise societies in the Delhi-NCR region. The latest incident was reported from Noida's Riverside Tower, where 9 employees of an IT firm suffered injuries last week. Now, the UP government has approved the Uttar Pradesh Lift and Accelerator Bill 2023. The bill makes installing an auto rescue device, emergency bells, CCTV cameras mandatory in lifts and escalators. The act would hold builders, lift manufacturing companies, service providers and authorities accountable. So the big question that we ask on the show is this the step in the right direction? Will it ensure safety, accountability and transparency? Joining me on the show, Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. We have Dinkar Pandey, Vice President of Noida Extension Flat Owners Welfare Association. Dr. Sudhir Krishna is former Secretary of Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India. And Ratandeep Singh Sehgal is MD of Hybun Luxury Lifts. Dinkar Pandey, why are these incidents happening only in Noida NCR region? You know, because if you look at it, we saw an incident happen in August 4th, when a 73-year-old resident of Paras Tierra, Noida, she died after the lift malfunctioned and fell. Then there was another incident which happened on September 15th. 8 workers died after an elevator fell from the 14th floor of an under construction. But all this seems to be happening largely in Noida NCR. Is this lack of planning? Is this, no absence of any rule regulation now that the UP government has brought about this Lift Act? Will it improve?
Yeah, thanks for giving me chance. And we are fighting for Lift Act since 2016. There are others as well who fought for this. And like you asked, Noida and NCR is classic case of mismanagement, negligence, and fearlessness about law and order. Here, if you see, there are a lot of lift incidents despite lack of high rises if we compare to cities like Mumbai or Shanghai or any other global cities. But major reason around that is maintenance of the lift and passing the bugs, I would say. For example, we are talking about 3-4 items. I wish I could have access to the draft rule and I could suggest few things. Though we had, and NFO I had got a chance to send a petition to Legislative Assembly, and on that we got assurance from Chief Minister, sir. And when he visited also, then we submitted a memorandum for that with our suggestions. But this draft copy of bill has not been issued to the public. At least I could not get that. So I did not study that. But whatever is coming in the news, like auto rescue device, alarm bell, the phone, lighting, what we are talking about is at very high level, and these days builders are installing that as well. But what we are not talking about is the tensile strength of the wire on which lift works. We have seen so many cases of breaking that wire now.
Okay.
So that means the important point, please.
It is these companies which have to be held responsible. So Ratandeep Singh Sehgal, the manufacturing companies such as yours have to be far more accountable. Is this also because there is a sudden, almost like a mushrooming of high rises that we are seeing? But why, again, my question is it happening only in Delhi NCR? There are high rises all across India.
Yes, so because the news is so active in Delhi NCR, I would say that these are being highlighted because of social media. This is happening all across India, but it is not being reported. Although there are stringent rules in Delhi because there are license, Noida, UP, there is no license as such. And because of inspectors visiting in Delhi, they check the quality and the safety of the elevators. So I think this step of the Lift Act, which is coming in UP, is a good step towards the safety, I would say. And I think a unified code should be there all across India, not just UP, but there should be a unified code all across the India, and the safety code should be followed by all the elevator companies in design and installation. As the gentleman was speaking about the maintenance should not be given to the local players or the unregistered, or I would say unauthorized players. It should remain with the authorized agencies or the OEM to keep the elevator safety intact.
Okay.
So that has been a major reason why.
In the absence of a law, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, of course, there is that move that has happened. But before that, there was no law in Uttar Pradesh governing the installation of, lifts and elevators. And thousands of people are living in high-rise housing complexes in cities. And they entirely, completely rely on these lifts. Is this lack of planning, or is this the builder which is not taking multiple factors into account? Is it the lift manufacturing companies, service providers? Who is accountable here?
Well, I think while I appreciate the UP government's initiative to make a law exclusively for the lifts and escalators, but I think that it is not really a mandate, necessity to have a law. Then only the lifts can be maintained or inspected. Under Electricity Act, rules can be made, regulations can be made, and they have been made also. Even in UP, as I understand, the lifts were regulated and already. Only thing is the regulations are not being enforced well enough. I think it's high time to take a good look at the situation that is changing. Because of fast urbanization, high rises are becoming more and more common in most of the cities, and high rises depend on the elevators. And therefore, the number of elevators is increasing like anything. My understanding is that Delhi alone, the NCT of Delhi, has more than 50,000 lifts. So, for the lift to be inspected by a government department would be a very challenging task. To inspect 50,000 lifts even once in a year, you require so many staff. So, I think that is not a practical solution. What solution world over is happening is that there are certified inspectors. There are regulations, standards and norms for the lift to be maintenance. Construction of lift generally is good. Lifts are well because they are all under good standards are there, and lifts are made. The quality of lifts manufactured should not be in question. What is in question is the maintenance aspect. Okay. For maintaining there has to be standard, and maintenance of check of standard requires to be inspected, and we need not depend only on government inspectors because they are far few in number. So we have to have a third-party inspection mechanism who should be certified and qualified and certified.
Okay.
And,
so third-party inspection mechanism, Dr. Vikram Singh, what will really stop such lack of accountability and ensure maintenance on the part of builders and also lift manufacturers?
Maria, good evening. We have had a very wonderful discussion, and every speaker has given out actionable points. To come first to Mr. Dinkar Pandeyji, that the tensile strength of the metal wires, that of course is the crux of the issue, that quality control and the purchases and installations should not be vendor driven, but based totally on the quality. Mr. Sehgal, of course, has a very relevant point that indeed the inspections as also the maintenance part should not be delegated to wayside and fly-by-night operators, but through authorized people. Dr. Krishna, there is merit in what he said. Having a law is very welcome, but any law is as good as its faithful implementation. We have any number of laws in respect of fire safety, but have we got over fire safety issues? No, we have not, because the implementation is very lax. And in this case too, the secret and the success and the efficacy, Maria, would lie in the faithful implementation, having a ready workforce, penalizing them. And this is an act which does have very good teeth. I dare say they have fangs. But yes, the purpose is not to victimize anyone. But yes, that if there is a malfunction and if there is a fault line, there should be consequences. And this is exactly what this bill or the act suggests. Lifts and escalators bill, which will be an act very soon. And I'm sure everybody should be educated about it. The builder, the vendor, those who install, and also those who are supposed to maintain, they have a bit of answering and accountability to do. Okay. Nobody can wash his hands off the case and absolve himself of responsibility, Maria.
Okay. So, Ratandeep Singh Sehgal, when you supply these lifts and elevators in various high rises, who does the checks here? Who ensures quality control? Is it done by you or is it the builder?
So first of all, our team take care of the quality control, and there are multiple checks on every stage which are taken care. And then we internally have a quality department who certifies the elevator. And then in Delhi, we have the lift inspectorate which goes and checks the elevator and certifies.
Go ahead.
So this is how it is being done in Delhi and NCR currently, and now also Haryana. This is being implemented. The lift inspectorate also visits the site and certifies about the safety of the elevator.
So there is a lift inspector as well. So is the inspector not doing his duty, Dinkar Pandey?
In Noida, there is no inspector, and let me explain what the problem is. Lift comes in good condition, but while comes maintenance, it is divided into three parts: manufacturer, the person who is maintaining that from the company, and the builder and maintenance agencies. They pass the bugs. For example, in ARD, there is a battery which is installed initially, but it is not getting replaced. So if lift jerks or light goes off, it is not good enough to stop the lift. If light goes off consecutively for 2-3 times, capacity of battery is not good enough. So just installation is not sufficient. We have to consider the fact that power cut would be there, frequent power cut would be there. And now there is other devices, ERD, which we have to install. And in case of any goof up, any mishappening, or any breakdown, there should be some SLA and there should be responsibility fixed. If lift goes down or if lift is not working for certain reason, the builder, the maintenance, the manufacturer all starts playing around that. Some maintenance agency says we have not been paid. If you're not being paid, would you let us die in the lift? If maintenance agency says, okay, manufacturer has not created this properly, then why you are operating that? Builder says, okay, we have installed it now, our responsibility is over. But think about scenario where you have installed only one lift in 24 building and there is no service lift. I am a witness of one situation where one person died and they have to carry the body from 28th floor to ground floor just on stretcher. And how they could have managed it, you can just imagine.
Yes.
So there should be standard around three things. First is, what is the number of lift required and what should be its
So why
strength,
are these not being
capacity?
followed, Dr. Sudhir Krishna? Isn't the ministry and the government responsible here?
Now, I think the responsibility of the government is that there is a lift inspectorate, even in UP also. The name is not lift inspectorate, it is electrical safety department. There is a department, there are inspectors, I'm talking about UP. Most unfortunately, states have got different laws, which is good also in a way because it is a state subject, but the government of India ought to make a model regulation so that all states follow. That is one part. But whatever law is there, inspection is mandatory under the law. Every year, for example, in Haryana, in Gurgaon, every 3-year inspection is to be made by the lift inspector. But this time is too long. Once in 3 years is not good enough. One should be annual inspection. And annual inspection is not possible because, as I said earlier, there are thousands of lifts in every major city, and you cannot have, so many employees, so many inspectors to inspect. And the way out is that, number one, a system of AMC is mandatory. Annual maintenance system has to be is already there. That a lift, public lift particularly, has to have a annual maintenance contract, and the annual maintenance servicing providing agency has to be a registered agency, registered with the electrical inspectorate or lift inspectorate, and they have to take the responsibility of filing monthly and annual inspection report with the lift inspector. That is the arrangement.
Okay.
If it is not being followed,
so
is another
then
matter.
In that case, the responsibility also is on resident welfare associations to ensure
Yes.
that this regular filing of the report is done. And that brings me to my final question now, Dr. Vikram Singh. There is the lack of maintenance of these buildings is evident. Lift may be something that we are seeing at the moment, but the very quality of material that is being used is also a suspect now. What is the quality of material that is being used in all these high rises which are mushrooming across the NCR, Delhi-NCR region?
Very good point made by you, Maria, and I would like to say that there is absolute truth in what Mr. Pandey had mentioned, that firstly, that the quality control, the inspection. We had the lift inspectors. We also have creatures by the name of Dhua inspector who are supposed to check the pollution level. So less said, I will stop at that, the level of inspectors and what they can do and what they cannot do is best left unsaid. So we now have to have some kind of a public-private partnership so as to have empowered, trained manpower so that they can see the quality control as far as lifts are concerned, their maintenance concerned, and ensure that they are foolproof and fail-proof. If it can happen in Gujarat and Maharashtra, I see no reason why it should not be possible in Uttar Pradesh.
Of course, we certainly hope that there is course correction here also now with that bill coming up. Thank you so much, Dr. Vikram Singh, Dinkar Pandey, Dr. Sudhir Krishna and Ratandeep Singh Sehgal.